What's up, everybody? This is Kerry. In this video, I'm going to show you my best bets for week 2 of the NFL season. We're going to continue looking at trends and see if we can place some bets based on those trends. Now, why do we stick to trends? Well, let's do a quick recap of week 1 and see how well those trends played out. Here are the trends that we followed in week 1. Underdogs getting 6.5 points or more that cover the spread, divisional underdogs that cover the spread, and underdogs with 4 to 6 wins in the previous season to cover the spread. And you can see what we have highlighted here, how many of those hit and how many of those missed. Overall, because some of these were duplicated in these last two categories, we won 8 and lost 4 for a 75% win rate. I would say that covering the trends in week 1 was a very good idea. Now for week 2, the trends are the following. Divisional underdogs that cover the spread. This happens in week 1, but not so much in week 2, but we're going to keep an eye on that one. Maybe it's going to pop back up in week 3. Double-digit week 1 losers that cover the spread in week 2. This is a very well-known trend and one that I've heard on multiple shows from the experts who I follow. The overs in week 1 that revert to unders in week 2. This is when teams score more points than expected in week 1 and their total goes over in the game, but maybe then in week 2 they come back down to earth and go under. Both of these trends here are what I call overreaction trends. Maybe something that happened in week 1 might influence bettors, might then push the lines a little bit higher or lower than they should be, and then the teams come back down to earth in week 2 and we see something more normal. And finally, divisional games with high totals of 46.5 points or higher that then go under for the game. Now this is a season-long trend that I found in the Josh Applebaum book, and I'm going to play this one every single week. Here are the stats on these trends. For double-digit week 1 losers, from 2015 to 2022, they covered here the spread in 62.96% of the games. That's great. I love seeing something over 60%. And they were profitable, which means they went above the 52.39% hit rate in 6 of those 8 seasons. That's great. For the team in total overs in week 1, 56.52% overall. And that hit in 5 of the 8 seasons. So this is a trend that I found myself. And again, I'm a little bit iffy on it. I'm going to place these bets to see how it works out. But this is one that I might flag as, potentially stay away. The last one here, divisional games with high totals that go under the total. This happened in 55.85% of all the games from 2015 to 2022 in week 2. And this hit was profitable in 6 of the 8 seasons. I like this one a lot. All of my trends that I'm going to show you in this video and in future videos will at least be 55% or more overall from these 8 seasons. Let's look at the games that match these trends. For the double-digit week 1 losers, we have multiple teams here. The Bengals right up here at the top. Now, they lost by double digits to the Browns, but that was a very sloppy game and a lot of rain, and it definitely looked like the offense there was out of sync, maybe because of the injury and maybe because of just not playing as much in the preseason. Now this line might have changed since I placed these bets. These are the lines that I had when I placed them a couple of days ago. The Seahawks at plus 5.5 against the Lions. Now the Colts and the Texans both lost by double digits in week 1 and they play each other. So which one do we pick? Well, taking some other analysis here by the experts, I think now the Texans are the favorite team and the Colts are the underdogs. So maybe for that reason, the Colts picking them as underdogs in divisional games might be a good way to look at that one. Regardless, I'm going to pick the Colts here. Then the Bears, the Giants, the Panthers, and the Steelers. Now, the bottom one here, the Steelers, they got beat pretty bad, and so did the Giants. And you would think, well, why would we bet on them to cover the spread, especially the Giants at minus 5.5? Well, nothing that happened in that game looked like it was normal. And the Cowboys defense looked like they were flying around in like very top-notch, very elite defense. So I'm not going to assume that the Cardinals defense is as good as the Cowboys and hope that the Giants actually do a much better job. And the Steelers, they played the San Francisco 49ers, which is another elite defense. And they have an excellent offense with Purdy and all the weapons on offense there. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, just to name a few. But the Browns, even though they're a good team, they look like they might be a good team. This is also another divisional game, and the Steelers are a divisional underdog. So I'm going to go with the Steelers here. And again, just following the trend without any worries, without any concerns that I might have otherwise. I'm going to bet all these games except for the one here on the Texans. I'm picking the Colts here. The teams that go over in week 1, both on their team totals and the totals in the games that might go under in week 2, the teams that went over are the Packers, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and Jaguars, and these are their team totals. I'm going to go under these totals here to follow this trend. Now, this last trend are divisional games with high totals at least 46.5 points or more that might go under for the game. There are 2 of these here, Ravens at the Bengals. That I bet this at 45.5. I wish I would have waited a little bit because it went up to 46.5, which is what I really was looking for. And then the Dolphins at the Patriots also at 46.5. Now, final thoughts here. As always, please do your own analysis before placing your bets. And feel free to fade my bets. If you don't like what I'm saying here, stay away from it for sure. And I want to add this here to let everyone know I'm a straight bettor, which means that I only bet single bets. I do not put them together. I don't do parlays or even teasers. That's just the way I do this, and I feel better. Now, the thing is, when you look at the odds that I mentioned on one of those slides there, the percentage wins, if you put teams together, then your percentage has to go up in order to cover that, or you have to look at that long term and really place quite a few bets for parlays to pay off. So I typically stay away from parlays. I'm also a flat bettor, which means I bet the same amount on each of my bets. In my case, 1%. That's 1% of your bankroll. So if you have a $1,000 bankroll, that would be $10. That means that my payouts maybe are not as great as I would hope them to be, but I also am minimizing my losses. That's the way I like to play it. Good luck and have fun. If you like this video and got some value from it, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting my best bets videos earlier in the week on Wednesdays to give you more time to get the best lines and make better bets. Have a good one.